Welcome to the shadow frequency, where the veil between this world and the next grows thin, and the things that whisper in the dark are given voice. From the cryptic candlelit studios, deep in the Indiana forests, your host, Matt Wilson, and his spectral producer, Juniper Ravenwood, unearth the forbidden, the forgotten, and the fearsome. So, still your heart, dim the light, and listen closely. For once you tune into the shadow frequency, you may never tune out.
Welcome back to the Shadow Frequency. I'm Juniper, settling in with you beneath the soft glow of the studio lights while the darkness gathers just beyond the glass. You know, forests are strange places after sunset. In daylight, the trees feel like shelter. At night, those same trees begin to look like they are hiding something. And if you stare between them long enough, you may start wondering whether that narrow shape in the distance has been standing there the entire time. Tonight, I'm pulling out a case that began as fiction but did not remain safely on the page. This is episode 364, Slender Man, When Fiction Became Folklore, the monster the internet created. In June of 2009, two altered photographs appeared in an online forum. They showed children at play while an impossibly tall, faceless figure watched them from the background. Everyone can trace where those pictures came from, yet the creature escaped its original post and acquired witnesses, symbols, supposed history, followers, and even alleged encounters. With only a few years, a monster invented on a computer screen was behaving like folklore that had haunted humanity for generations. That is what makes this one so compelling. We are not merely asking whether Slender Man is real. We are asking what the word real means once an idea begins changing memories, behavior, and lives. Chris, when you hear that a monster has a known creator and the exact date of birth, but people still claim to encounter it, what does that say to you?
It says the human mind may be the strangest haunted house of all, June. Once an image gets inside, especially one as simple and unsettling as that blank face, it can turn every dark tree line and distorted photograph into possible evidence. And the really creepy part is that knowing it was invented may not make the fear disappear.
Exactly. Sometimes an explanation closes a door, but this one seems to open another. Matt, what was your first thought when you opened this file?
My first thought was that Slender Man may be the perfect monster for the internet age. He has no face, no fixed story, and no single set of rules.
Right.
He's an empty space that millions of people filled together, and once they finished, some of them looked back at that empty space and believe something was looking out.
And that is where tonight's trail begins. Matt, bring us in, and whatever you see between the trees, try not to look at it for too long.
You are tuned to the shadow frequency, where every whisper tells a story from beyond the veil. Hosted by Matt Wilson, produced by Juniper Ravenwood, with Chris Beach. The darkness continues.
Thank you, Juniper, for today's very strange case. Let's open the file at the edge of a forest just before nightfall. A lone walker carries a camera and follows scraps of paper pinned to trees, a crude circle, a faceless man, a warning written by a trembling hand. The camera will not hold focus. Static crawls across this image whenever the trail turns. Then something pale interrupts the dark trunks. It is too high to be a face and too narrow to be a body, yet it resembles both. The walker lowers the camera and sees nothing, raises it again, and there he is. Deeper among the trees, dressed like a man arriving for an appointment no one remembers making. No eyes, no mouth, no movement. Another page bears 4 words. He is always watching. It feels like an ancient warning carried through generations by children who knew better to enter the woods. But this trail does not lead into medieval Europe. It leads to an internet forum on June 10th, 2009. And to the night a monster with no past appeared to remember all of us. The forum was called Something Awful, and the thread invited users to create paranormal images by altering ordinary photographs. A contributor named Victor Surge posted 2 black and white pictures of children outdoors. In one, children run toward the camera while a dark, elongated shape waits behind them. In the other, a group plays beneath trees as an impossibly tall figure rises in the background, its arms hanging in ways human joints should not allow. The face contains no expression because it contains nothing at all. Victor Surge added captions that sounded lifted from a damaged archive. One dated a photograph to 1983 and called the photographer presumed dead. The other mentioned 14 missing children, a fire at the Sterling City Library, a vanished photographer named Mary Thomas, and a figure called the Slender Man. Those lines suggested a disaster before the picture, another after it, and an official explanation that did not fit. The images became fragments from a case whose remaining pages seemed deliberately removed, and beyond the edge of those pictures, the missing story was waiting. I have a printed facsimile of that original June 10th post in the file tonight. This is not a later recreation, it is the surviving forum page where Victor Surge placed the images and captions. Look at how little's here. There is no origin, no list of powers, no explanation of where the children went. One caption contains the phrase persistent silence and outstretched arms, words nearly as powerful as the photographs. Silence can threaten, but why would it also comfort? Why would children feel drawn toward what horrified them? The post gives us a named figure, missing people, a dead or vanished photographer, damaged evidence, and a library fire, then stops. Other users began asking questions, creating images, and behaving as though Victor Surge had uncovered the figure rather than introduced him. Eric Knudsen, the artist behind the name, had built a doorway with photographs and a few sentences. Readers walked through carrying their own fears, and every contribution enlarged the room beyond it. When they finally looked back, the doorway seemed to have moved. Soon the mythology began manufacturing a past. New photographs hid the figure near disasters, schools, forests, and children. Users supplied witness accounts, confidential reports, symbols, journals, and warnings. A fictional Germanic figure called Der Großmann, the Great Man, was placed in the 16th century as if villagers had carved images of a many-limbed hunter who stole children from the Black Forest. That invented history gave the new monster the smell of old paper. Someone might find the story on a later website without seeing the forum that created it. Another repeated it in a video. Someone else remembered hearing it as a child. Each retelling moved the claim farther from its source until 2009 became almost irrelevant. Slender Man also acquired powers, appearing without crossing the distance between places, producing additional limbs, erasing memories, influencing minds, disrupting cameras, and controlling followers called proxies. Those who came close might suffer headaches, nosebleeds, nightmares, paranoia, missing time, and visual distortion. Symptoms fans called slender sickness. The legend had written its own symptoms, and ordinary fear could suddenly feel like contact. Look at the creature those storytellers built. Slender Man is extraordinarily tall, though no measurement remains fixed. He wears a black suit and tie, clothing associated with adulthood, authority, funerals, and official visits. Put that suit in an office and it disappears. Put it on an elongated body in a moonlit forest and it becomes a violation, as if civilization followed you somewhere it should not be. His limbs echo branches, his torso resembles a trunk. He does not chase, he waits, and the next glimpse places him closer. Most disturbing is the face. We read danger, pain, and intention by looking at faces, but Slender Man denies us that information. There is no expression, age, gaze, or mouth from which a warning might come. He is a human outline with the human being removed. That blankness lets each witness supply a different motive because nothing contradicts what the witness fears. Perhaps he wants the children, the camera, or the person investigating him. Perhaps he is not looking at anything until that smooth white head turns toward you. Only 10 days after the original post, the first Marble Hornets video appeared on YouTube. The series followed Jay as he examined tapes from his friend's Alex's abandoned student film. A tall presence called the Operator surfaced in backgrounds and corrupted recordings never explained enough to become safe. Viewers froze frames. followed side accounts, decoded symbols, and argued over missing time. The story arrived not like a program, but like evidence, making the line between performance and recovered footage feel dangerously thin. Marble Hornets fixed electronic interference, surveillance, memory gaps, and the circle with an X symbol into the wider imagination. Then, in 2012, Slender, the 8 pages placed the audience inside the forest. Armed with a flashlight, players searched for 8 notes while the figure appeared more often with every page. Looking at him damaged the screen and hastened the encounter. You had to keep searching, though every answer increased the danger. Children swapped the story at school. Creators added diaries and encounters, and strangers reported dreams of the same watcher. In 3 years, 2 altered photographs had become a shared memory, and the monster was waiting wherever someone thought to look. The unsettling part is not that the first doorway was built on a forum. It is that thousands of people entered it together and returned describing rooms the original creator had never drawn.
And every description gave the next person something new to recognize. That makes the legend feel less like a story and more like a trail of footprints.
A trail that was laid down deliberately. Yes, but one that people still managed to get lost following. Knowing who started it does not tell us why it became so powerful.
In the second half, we're going to follow that trail into the 8 pages, the machinery of modern folklore, the real tragedy in Wisconsin, and the disturbing question of whether sustained belief can give an invented being a different kind of life. For now, Juniper and Chris will turn it back to you.
Slender Man was born in a photograph, but the internet gave him a history, a mythology, and millions of minds to haunt. The most frightening monsters may not be discovered, they may be created.
So far, we have watched Slender Man go from 2 photographs to something that could travel through video, games, schoolyard warnings, and memory itself. I keep wondering what our listeners are thinking right now. If you already knew the character was fictional but still felt uneasy looking into a dark tree line, which part of you was responding? The part that knows or the part that believes? We will dig into that after the break, along with the moment this online nightmare produced devastating consequences in the real world. Chris, what is lurking on your side of the studio?
Cheers, June. What gets me is how quickly the missing pieces became the strongest pieces. Slender Man had no face and almost no rules, so everyone could bring a different fear to him. And apparently the algorithms enjoy a mystery almost as much as we do. If you're enjoying the case, please like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using. It genuinely helps those algorithms guide more curious souls our way. You'll find us on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Rumble, and all major podcast directories. Visit shadowfrequencypodcast.com for every episode, the companion blog, merch, show notes, and links to every platform. You can also buy us a coffee there, or reach out by email or voice message. We may play yours on a future episode. Back to you, June.
Thank you, Chris. It's time to wake the spectrocosmic message materializer. I'm easing the brass lever forward. The violet tubes are warming up, and something appears to be tapping from inside the receiver, which is not one of its listed features. Let's zoom past the whispering and see what the machine has pulled from the dark tonight. Here's a note trailing the unmistakable aroma of coffee. This says, "Hi, Shadow Frequency crew. Lionel here in Louisville, Kentucky. Most nights I put the show on through Amazon Music while I have one last cup of coffee before bed. My wife says coffee at that hour is the reason I stay awake, but I'm pretty sure it's Matt describing something standing outside a bedroom window. I especially enjoy the UFO and time travel episodes because both leave me wondering whether we understand our place or even our moment in the universe. Thanks for keeping me company during my questionably timed caffeine ritual. Keep watching the skies and maybe the clock too, Lion." Lionel, I support the coffee, although combining it with the shadow frequency before bed may be less of a nighttime routine and more of a voluntary haunting. Thank you for listening in Louisville and for sending that wonderful note. If the rest of you would like to feed the materializer, you can email us at shadowpodcast@protonmail.com. Just be warned, the machine occasionally answers before I do. And now, Chris, take us into tonight's Shadow News.
Cheers, June. Lionel sounds like a man who understands that sleep is optional when there is coffee and a good mystery involved. Here's tonight's Shadow News. Astronomers may have identified one of the most promising places yet to search for life beyond our solar system. The planet, known as LHS 1140b, is a rocky world located around 48 light-years from Earth, and it sits within the habitable zone of its star, the region, where temperatures could allow liquid water to exist on the surface. Most importantly, scientists believe the planet also has an atmosphere, something considered essential for supporting life as we know it. Study lead author Dr. Colin Cherubim from Harvard University says this is the first known atmosphere detected around a rocky planet within another star's habitable zone. LHS 1140b is considerably larger than Earth, with around 5.6 times our planet's mass and roughly 1.7 times its diameter. But researchers still consider it an especially exciting target for future observations. Whether anything actually lives there remains completely unknown. But when it comes to searching for a potentially habitable world, this may be one of the best candidates discovered so far. That's tonight's Shadow News. June, I'll toss it back to you.
Thanks again, Chris. A potentially habitable world only 48 light-years away is exciting, but after tonight's case, I'm wondering what kinds of stories might already be looking back from there. Perhaps every intelligent civilization invents something faceless to place just beyond the edge of its firelight. Now let's return to Earth, where one invented figure crossed a boundary no folklore should ever cross. Matt, the second half is yours.
We know the exact day Slender Man entered the world, yet people still claim to have seen him standing between the trees. When fiction becomes folklore, even an invented shadow can begin to feel real.
Thanks, Juniper and Lionel. Coffee before bed is bold when our subject is a figure said to enter dreams, so I'll keep a light on in Louisville. Chris, that LHS 1140b story gives us a companion thought. Possibly begins with a faint signal, then imagination races ahead to fill an entire world. Slender Man followed that path on Earth, only faster. The 8 pages did not merely tell players something was in the forest, it taught their bodies to accept it. As pages accumulated, music tightened, static invaded the screen, and players scanned the trees. Stepping outside afterward, they already knew the visual language, branches like arms, a pale gap like a head, and a distant post dressed in darkness. Folklore lives through tradition and variation. One teller preserves the core while changing details. Slender Man did in days what older Boogeyman did across generations. Posts became videos, videos became games, games became playground warnings, and warnings became alleged memories. Nobody approved the next chapter, and contradictions widened the mystery. He could abduct, command, protect, punish, or wait depending on the digital campfire. Every version offered another reason to recognize him, and recognition is sometimes the first footstep behind you. But then the story entered a place where atmosphere must give way to care. On May 31st, 2014, 3 12-year-old girls walked into a wooded park in Waukesha, Wisconsin after a sleepover. Morgan Geyser and Anissa Weir attacked their friend Payton Leutner. Payton was stabbed 19 times and left grievously wounded, but she crawled toward a roadway where a bicyclist found her and called for help. She survived. I am pulling another item from the file, a printed Wisconsin appellate court opinion recording the attack and statements attributed to the girls. This is not creepypasta or staged evidence. It is a legal document describing how belief in Slender Man became entangled with an attempted killing. The girls reportedly thought the attack would prove loyalty, make them his proxies, and protect their families. They spoke of finding a mansion connected to him in the forest. Those claims did not make Slender Man physical, and we must never turn Payton's suffering into a paranormal theater. They show something frightening enough. An invented mythology had entered an enclosed belief system powerful enough to shape real decisions. The monster did not need to emerge from behind a tree to leave wounds in this world, and that may be the darkest form of arrival. Here is the skeptical angle we saved for the second half. No authenticated sighting, police report, historical document, or traditional legend establishes Slender Man before Eric Knudsen's 2009 post. The images were altered for a contest. Der Grabmann was a fictional addition, not a recovered German tradition. The powers, proxies, sickness, symbols, and older encounters were built by participants. Psychology also explains how someone might sincerely report seeing him without meeting a supernatural entity. Pareidolia finds human forms in ambiguous shapes. Expectation directs attention toward what we are warned to notice. Nightmares and sleep paralysis can place a presence beside the bed. Memory is reconstructive, so a vivid image learned today may reshape yesterday's childhood fear. Serious mental illness was central to the Wisconsin case. It cannot responsibly be reduced to scary stories making otherwise healthy children violent. Millions encountered Slender Man without harming anyone, but rational explanations do not make the phenomenon empty. They show how an idea can enter perception, recruit shadows as evidence, and return wearing the authority of experience. If fear teaches your mind what to seek, the first sighting may occur not in the woods, but behind your eyes. Folklorist Jeffrey Tolbert used the term reversed ostension for the process surrounding Slender Man. Ordinarily, an event inspires a legend and people later interpret life through it. Here, storytellers built the legend first, then produced the photographs, testimony, symbols, and experiences a legend would normally leave behind. It was as though footprints appeared before anyone invented the animal. The paranormal version goes further. In occult discussion, a thought form is supposedly shaped or strengthened by attention. The popular tulpa idea suggests sustained belief might develop apparent independence. We have no scientific evidence that millions of imaginations manufactured a physical being in a black suit. Still, consider the concentration involved. People pictured the silhouette, dreamed of it, drew it, feared it, role-played encounters, searched forests, and warned others that learning too much might attract its notice. Could that attention create something non-physical yet active? A cultural presence producing dreams, bodily fear, false recognition, and altered behavior? Perhaps existence need not mean flesh. A nation exists. A rumor exists. A nightmare exists. None must stand beneath a streetlight to change what someone does next. Slender Man may be assembled from attention, and attention is what the internet summons without limit. So let's return to the forest. You carry the camera and the final page is pinned to a tree. You know the photographs were created by Eric Knudsen. The captions were fiction, the German legend came later, and the game's static was programmed. That knowledge should drain the woods of danger. Yet your flashlight catches a pale vertical shape and your body reacts before reason can speak. The camera tries to focus. A narrow trunk becomes a black suit, branches become arms. An opening in the leaves becomes a smooth face. You lower the camera and there is only forest. Lift it again and the shape seems closer. Maybe it's suggestion or pareidolia. Maybe a mind given a monster can never return darkness to its original state. Or maybe we gathered around a new kind of fire, told the same fear together, and created somewhere for it to live. Slender Man may never have possessed a body, but he acquired a name, image, history, witnesses, followers, victims, and the power to make millions glance toward the trees. The last page holds no drawing, only a question. Does a monster need a body to be real? Or does it become real when it makes you look over your shoulder? We know exactly when Slender Man was created, but that certainty does not solve the deeper mystery. It shows us that a monster can be born in public and still escape into places its creator never intended.
For me, that is more unsettling than a disputed old photograph. We watch the legend being assembled, piece by piece, and even with the instructions in front of us, the finished thing can still frighten us.
And it is terribly rude that knowing his entire origin story does absolutely nothing to make the studio windows feel safer. I have checked the tree line twice for the record.
Maybe that is Slender Man's one undeniable power. He changes the shape of an empty space. Once you know what could be standing there, empty never looks quite as empty again. Juniper, take us home.
Slender Man has no face, no voice, and no single story, leaving us to fill the emptiness with our own deepest fears. Perhaps that is why he never needed to be real to make people afraid.
Tonight, we followed Slender Man from 2 altered photographs into a mythology built by thousands of hands. We found invented history, corrupted recordings, heat pages in a forest, a genuine tragedy, and one chilling possibility: a fictional creature can acquire real power without ever acquiring a physical body. Thank you for joining us on episode 364 of The Shadow Frequency. Stop by our website, shadowfrequencypodcast.com, for episodes, companion blog, show notes, merch, ways to support the show, and links to every platform. Come back next time when we open another strange file and listen for whatever may be moving beneath the static. You guys want to say goodnight?
Good night, everyone, and thank you for spending part of your evening in the shadows with us. If you happen to take a picture near the woods tonight, maybe wait until morning before checking the background.
Good night from me as well. Keep curious, keep your camera charged, and remember that if a page on a tree tells you to keep walking, you are allowed to ignore it.
Wise advice. Good night, my shadowy friends, and until the next signal finds us, may every tall figure beyond your window turn out to be nothing more than a tree, especially the ones that were not there yesterday.
This episode was conjured with a solemn vow to explore the unexplained while remaining bound to the truths that have been unearthed. All interpretations are speculative and offered only for your enlightenment and your entertainment.